just seeing another month, another day, Lord. And I ask you, Lord God, just let us continue to do the things we enjoy and let us savor the rest of the summer that we have, God. And Lord, I ask you, Lord, as school continues to kick back up, God, I ask you, Lord, to be with the teachers, students, and everybody that runs our schools, Lord, and protects them. God, I ask you, Lord, just continue to be with our community and be with the people that's in it. Be with the people that we've lost over the last few weeks, Lord, and let those memories shine on. And God, I ask you, Lord, just be with the meeting tonight. Be with the people that are here. Be with the people that make the city go on a day-to-day basis. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I'd like to ask you to stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. If the clerk would call the roll, please.
Councilmember Lilly. Here. Mizell. Here. Rustin.
Here.
King. Here. Phillips.
Here.
Mayor Mitchell.
Here. Okay, we have everybody in attendance, so we have a quorum. So apologize, we don't have the technology as far as the video presentation so we'll just do it the old-fashioned way. So the first item on the agenda is the approval of the consent agenda, which is the approval of the minutes of the July 19th council work session and approval of the minutes of the July 20th regular council meeting. Are there any corrections or additions to the minutes? Changes? Okay, if there are no corrections or additions, then the minutes stand approved as written. So the next item on the agenda is something that we like to do, and that's the swearing in of a new police officer, Stephen Cranston. So Stephen, if you'll join me up here, go through the swearing in. So Stephen comes to us from Harpersville by way of Oregon. So we're glad to have you here in Columbiana. And so if you would, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Stephen Cranston,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Alabama,
and the Constitution of the State of Alabama,
so long as I continue a citizen thereof,
so long as I continue a citizen thereof,
and that I will faithfully and honestly discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully and honestly discharge the duties
of the office of police officer
of the office of police officer
upon which I am about to enter,
upon which I am about to enter,
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. So I need to sign this, and we'll get a copy of you guys after the meeting. Okay, so the next item on the agenda was the department head reports. And the first one, do I have it here? Yes. Was the fire department, and Chief Howard is not here tonight. I think he's in training this week, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, he's not here tonight. And basically, there hasn't been any change in the fire department reports. He's all green as far as safety, budget, staffing, facilities, continuing with the issues with an aging vehicle fleet, but we've had some discussions about that and got the routine maintenance going on his equipment and apparatus. He did have his ISO audit, and we're waiting on the final report there. And I met with the auditor, and that was a few weeks ago. And in general, I think the results of the audit are going to be favorable. We had previously a rating of 3 out of a rating of 1 to 10. 1 is the best you can get, 10 is the worst. And typically, in fact, I'm not aware of any volunteer fire departments that have a rating of higher than 3. So I think that's excellent that we're anticipating that 3 rating. And the next one is the library. So Sheila.
As far as safety,
Everything's been going good. People are starting to wear masks again, though. We're not requiring it, but some of them are starting to wear masks.
Mhm.
That's good. And I know I'm looking for a fill-in because my fill-in is taking on more hours.
Okay.
That's good. And we have new programs this month, and our papers are increasing weekly. We have a Hispanic support group that started meeting the first Saturday of every month. And August the 18th, we just begin homeschool days. We have a lot of STEM kits they can come in and use there. And they can go in and out. You know, it's like from 10 to 3, and they just come and go as they please.
Okay.
And issues and concerns, I don't really have any right now.
Okay. So, any questions or comments for Sheila regarding the library? Okay, thanks, Sheila. All right, environmental services, Chris.
All right, safety, we have no injuries doing this year, budget. Currently have been working on the 2021, 2022 budget. Staffing, we're fully staffed. Facility, all the buildings in good shape except the AC and heating unit is going out at our plant, and we have included that in the new year budget. All right, sewer lines, we are currently working on upgrading some sewer lines to our collection system. Compliance, the UV system has some seals that failed. We had the necessary parts to start to repair them. And training, we're up to date on training. Issues and concern, the water line to the treatment plant had to be replaced. We had to lay 400 feet of new water line around the treatment plant. Highlights and opportunities, we have had our visit from ADECTA. Mr. Bowswell suggested we get in touch with them about getting generators for all our lift stations, which we have 14 lift stations in the city.
Tell me about your AC.
Yeah, it goes in and out, and it's making a terrible noise that when you're on the phone conducting business, you cannot hear, on the phone. And they'll have a guy come out and check on it. And he said he's gonna get a cheaper unit to put in. It should be, cost worthy and everything, so. He probably explained that more to you. He talked to the guy.
Okay.
What happened to the water line?
Oh, we had a big hole in the water, and it never showed itself. We had a high water bill. Josh Miller come and told me how many gallons what it was, and I was like, that is crazy, 400,000 gallons. Imagine that. It didn't never come to the surface. So we just put new water lines all the way around from the meter, and it stopped spinning.
You said 400,000?
Yes, sir. It's a lot of water.
A lot of water.
So we jumped on that pretty quick.
And where was the hole at?
It was like going towards the basin, the mixed liquid basin on that hillside, and so
So
it
it
running
was-
out to that little creek.
So it was way
Yeah, it was way up.
upstream of the meter.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So we got that issue fixed, and I asked him had he saw the power bill yet. He said no, and I don't think he wants to see it, but it's gonna be a nice one. All right.
When you say those generators on those pump stations, do we have any generators on pump stations now or no?
No.
Well, I guess were those set external to the pump station, like next to it?
Yeah, right next to it. So if the power goes out, then it stops overflow from coming out the pump station, because if the power go out, pumps won't work, and then sewage just runs out. Then
So
we
that-
have to
So that's beneficial when you get like a hurricane or a freeze
Tornadoes,
and knocks out.
Or these heavy rains and
That's
and
true.
power goes out, whatever.
That's right.
Okay.
Mr. Boswell was extremely knowledgeable when it came to sewer systems and sewage treatment. And it turns out, I guess that's part of his past life, so that's why I know so much about it.
So hopefully he'll help us out a little bit.
All right, well, nothing's free, but he does say that the state has some equipment that we can get that's, as he calls it, gently used and a fraction of the cost. All right, so,
I want to say too, Chris, we appreciate you stepping up to the plate like you do and the knowledge that you have with your years out there too.
Well, thank you,
You do a
thank
good
you.
job. We
I
appreciate
try.
that.
I try.
We appreciate you.
I'm not the smartest pickle in the jar, but I try.
thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay, Community Affairs and Senior Services, Ally.
All right, I'm gonna have to sit so that I can see my stuff.
Okay.
as far as most things are going very, very well. We've got some upcoming events. There's a public safety day on August 14th with the police department. They and the fire department, they are doing public safety day right after school starts.
Now, is that at the fire department or where's it at?
No, it's going to take place, in the parking lot of the police department as
Okay.
well as the back of the fire department.
Okay. All right, so it'll be kind of like a shared type thing. And you have EMS folks there too, right?
Yes,
Okay.
EMA, storm shelters, and
Okay,
the whole
good.
life.
Perfect. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
And then the community pep rally is Thursday, August 19th. So that will happen on Main Street. We didn't get to do that last year because of COVID, but this year we'll get to do that Thursday, August 19th. Then there's some upcoming Main Street events. There's a farm to table dinner on Friday, October 15th. Tickets for that should go on sale in the next week or so. The Senior Center served about 1,100 meals in July. And we have a welcome back party scheduled for Wednesday, September 1st, as long as COVID will cooperate. Right now, the Senior Center's going on trips again. They are moving and shaking again. And it's just become a little tight as far as staffing is concerned. It's just kind of hard to get somebody there all the time if you're trying to go on trips and do things like that too. So that's just become a little bit of a pinch since we're back in the swing of things. And we're still looking for volunteers to deliver Meals on Wheels. A lot of our volunteers who were delivering before COVID just really aren't able to do it anymore. And so we need some younger volunteers who can deliver meals, and that may help a little bit with staffing problems too. So I think that's it.
Do you know what percentage of your regular seniors are vaccinated?
Just about 95% of my seniors are vaccinated. So when they all came back, we asked if they would voluntarily let us document whether they had been vaccinated or not. And so most of them are. There's just really a handful of regulars who are not vaccinated.
So if you start these trips, will you impose any
Well,
restrictions or
on
guidelines?
the bus, they always mask on the bus because that's their policy and that's just kind of what we do. Last Friday, I think they went to Birmingham and all the places they went required a mask, and so they wore masks. So, I mean, that's kind of where I think we're headed again, and so we'll follow what they say. So.
Okay, well, we'll talk about that maybe a little bit later in the general discussion. Any other questions for Ally?
You said a farm to table dinner?
Mhm.
Where's that gonna be?
So that will be at the Great Hall at Almost Farm.
Who will prepare
And
it?
it will be true farm to table. So everything will be sourced from local farmers or local ranchers, I guess that's what you call somebody. So everything, all the produce is local, all the meat is local, and that will all be prepared by John Harrison. John did the farm to table dinner at the 4-H Center when they did it last fall. And it was very successful for them. So it should be a really fun time.
What was that day again?
October 15th. And that's a Friday night. There's a bye. There's no high school football games, nothing like that. So.
Now, there are a lot of activities on the 14th now, right?
Yes, there are a lot of things going on the 14th. So the 14th is also Cardinal and White Day.
Wildcat Weekend.
Wildcat Weekend is what they're calling it. So it's Cardinal and White Day. Zeb Ellison, the new football coach.
You said the 14th? No.
Yeah, on
Yeah,
Saturday.
Saturday the 14th.
So that Friday, that farm to table is on the 13th then?
No, Farm to Table
It's in
is
October.
15th.
Oh, okay.
So what month are you talking about?
The
August?
month is.
Okay.
See,
Okay. Sorry.
August 14th is Wildcat Weekend. That's what they're calling it. So it's Cardinal and White Day. So they're gonna have scrimmage games at the football field. The police and fire department are doing their public safety day that morning, And in the works right now is a kickball game amongst teachers from all the various schools, and hopefully the city of Columbia will participate in that.
Oh, my goodness.
Sasha, you
I know, I'm looking at you guys. So that should be really fun. I'm not sure how far the kickball game has gotten, so I will keep you guys.
Well, I've heard that the 3 elementary schools are gonna make one team.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. So
Do
maybe
you
a
know
very
what time-
short kickball tournament.
Is that going along with Zeb stuff, or did they plan it and didn't know?
The kickball game is starting at 2. They're starting at 1,
But they're not,
but they're right beside, like, football fields.
So they have a,
So
they
they're
have a pancake breakfast too, don't they, at the rec center on, is that the same weekend?
I don't know that
Okay, I know that they did contact me about doing a pancake
That's the 8th.
breakfast,
That's September 18th.
but I don't remember when that is, September 18th? Anything else? Okay, thanks, Alan. Do we have any board reports?
Beautification Board met last night, and we have, for our tour of homes, which is December the 11th, it'll be from 1 to 5. We have 10 confirmed host homes, and we are going to get tickets out in the next month or two, and we're going to do a early buy option so that if you buy early, then your ticket's going to be less expensive. And we might have something going on, a reception after that, but that's not set in stone. But the tickets will probably be a 2-for-1 kind of thing. Anyway, I'm excited. We got 10 people confirmed for the tour of homes, so it'll be back this year.
Along those lines, are we, Christmas parade, I guess that will still happen?
Yes.
What date is that on? Usually a Thursday?
Mhm.
Right.
Usually the first Thursday in December. Is that still what we've got, Allie?
I have
Just curious.
Friday, December 3rd.
Oh, that's right. We changed
Yes,
it.
we moved it.
That's right. We did.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other board? Okay, so the next item on the agenda is discussion and other business, and I had a couple things that I wanted to bring up. We've talked about this before. We talked about the public purpose doctrine and the ability to be able to provide something of value and aid to, as far as an ad in the high school football program, the Boy Scouts using the rec center, Dream Makers using the rec center. And even the fact that we provide some financial support to Southeast Shelby EMS. To follow the law, we have to pass a council resolution that says that we have determined that these things satisfy a public purpose. And we've had some discussion about these in our other meetings, and I've gone through it with the city attorney and whatnot. I thought I'd write something up about how these things meet the public purpose. We can just do one resolution and say, you know, we're good to go as far as that's concerned. Then, as you recall, an issue came up a while back about an MOA for the maintenance of the cross-country course and the community trail behind Elvin Hill. That MOA had not been approved by the council, and then some had raised some concerns about how broad and general it was as far as defining the maintenance. So I was going to try to get that hopefully by the next council meeting, but if not after that. I think obviously we enjoy a good collaboration with the Board of Education and the county, and there are some benefits not only to the high school but to the community as far as that trail back there. So I think we want to continue to provide the maintenance, but I think the one thing that they came up with some guidelines about, how wide the trail should be and the clearance from brush and all that kind of stuff. But if there is some natural disaster, a tornado or hurricane type winds or something that causes trees to fall and washes out, there's a lot of culverts that have been put back there. That would be an enormous expense for the city to have to incur. So I thought I'd modify the MOA that says that the three parties to the MOA would work together to solve issues like that when they occur. So we can discuss that further if we need to, but I'm going to go ahead and draft something or try to get it drafted, and we can pass the resolution to sign that MOA at the next meeting if we can get it done by then. Does anybody else have anything else they'd like to bring up or any comments or questions about these things?
On that public doctrine, we have to, is that doctrine going to list the things specifically that we have going now, and it'd be generic enough to where we can include anything in that going forward, or we have to include the?
Well, I mean, if we were going to give money to something different, we would have to meet and say, yes, that meets the public purpose and define how it meets the public purpose. But for example, in general, a municipality is, we've placed ads, and in fact, we've committed to do it again, in the high school football program the city has. And that's a booster club type project, and municipalities are precluded from providing financial aid to booster clubs. However, the courts have ruled that if that program is a normal advertising medium that would be used in your community for marketing the city and whatnot, then it is perfectly okay for the city to place an advertisement in there just like it would do it in any other type of advertising medium. We have so few print media in Columbiana that it is one of the few media that you can advertise in locally. So kicked it around with the city attorney and believed that that satisfies the requirement as far as that. So we just have to say that. And then as far as Boy Scouts and Dream Makers, we have to enter into a contract to where they would provide some service to the community in order to be able to receive something of value, which would be the use of the rec center, which we would otherwise rent to people. And we talked about how we can do that. And inherently, EMS has been deemed to be a public service. But we still, since the city gives money to them, we still have to pass a resolution that says that we're doing that as a public service. And then the MOA is basically a contract, so we have to pass a resolution to sign a contract. So we'll try to get the terms squared away on that. Is there any other business anybody would like to bring up or discuss? Okay.
Hey, I think I may have sent the article out. Are we involved? I probably know the answer to this, but that new subdivision is coming down to Higgins Butter Road on Beaver Creek in Shelby. Will we be involved in that anyway? Okay. And the reason I found it, I read a Shelby County Reporter article. There's a development about 15 homes. It's in Shelby. It's at the end of Egg and Butter.
Okay. Any update on the roads? Repaving?
No, I need to go have another conversation with Chad, but Scroggins, the county manager, along with, I've got a laundry list of things I want to talk to him about. That'd be at the top of the list. I believe after our last conversation that he had a conversation with his engineers and his staff about that, but the communication has broken down since then, so I'll just have to follow up.
Yes, because we've been getting a lot of complaints from bus drivers, parents that transport the kids. Transporting their kids to school, and You know, their cars are getting, you know, out of line and.
I agree.
What
I don't like it. We tried our best to coordinate, the digging up of Main Street, based on when they told us they were gonna actually start that paving project and all the bad weather and everything. That's the excuse, anyway. So I'm just trying to get, and I'm sure that they're backed up because of the weather. I'm just trying to get them to maybe reorient the priorities since we've already torn that road up. See if we can get that one fixed first, and then we can do the others whenever.
Do we have an update on the stump removals? Are they finished? Are they started?
No, they haven't started yet, and I need to follow up with Alan about that, so I'm glad you asked me about that, because we did sign a contract.
No, they just sent the contract today.
Just got it today.
So I
Okay.
have that to sign.
All right. So if we have the contract today, what we did is we approved the signing of the contract, right? Okay. All right, so we should be able to get started on that really quick. Anything else? All right, so the next item is the mayor's report. So since the last meeting, there's actually been a lot going on. So on the 21st of July, I met with Dr. Rick Camp and Keith Brown from the Shelby Baptist Association. Dr. Camp is the new director of the Shelby Baptist Association here. Keith, many people I think know Keith. He's been over there for a long time. We worked with Keith, during the tornado and the relief efforts and whatnot. So basically, a discussion of how the city and the Shelby Baptist Association can work to support each other. One of the things that I talked about is, and I've talked about, there's a new pastor at the Methodist Church as well, and I spoke with him about it, and they always ask, how can we help out the city? And, we have a lot of people who are always complaining about these people don't take care of their property, and this property looks bad, and that property looks bad, and there are some people that are just don't take care of things. Then there are other people who don't have the means to do it. They may be elderly, disabled, financially unable to do it, whatever it is. And that's where I think communities need to come together and help each other, and particularly faith-based organizations. So that was one of the big things that I talked to Dr. Camp about. And, Keith shared with me that they're already doing some of those things. And so, and when I talked to, and I apologize, I don't know the new pastor, I don't remember the new pastor's name of the Methodist Church, but anyway, he was excited to hear about that, and hopefully we can get all of these faith-based organizations and civic organizations together. Let's identify the families that truly need help, and let's help them out, because it'll help them and help the community as a whole. On the 22nd of July, I attended the Shelby One mid-year update in Harpersville. It just happened to be at the Budweiser distributing plant, so it was kind of a nice meeting. But anyway, for a lot of people who don't know what Shelby One is, it's basically the strategic plan for the county as far as economic development is concerned. It's a 5-year economic development plan. And it's too bad we don't have the charts up there. They'll be on the website, but there is a link I put on here where you can go to their website and you can actually see basically what the 2021 plan. And so the purpose at this meeting was just for the Chamber of Commerce to provide an update about what they accomplished thus far in 2021. On the 23rd, we went to Birmingham, along with some representatives from Main Street, Columbiana, as well as our manager of community affairs and senior service, and we met with the Regional Planning Commission of Greater Birmingham. We talked about strategic planning and economic development for the city of Columbiana. They basically have a 1-year backlog of communities in Shelby County, but we want to get on the list so we can get their support. And there are things that we can do in the meantime. So you have to pay for that service. I've looked at They showed us some samples. I'm guesstimating maybe $120,000, and it takes almost a year to put this thing together. But we need to make in fact, we will need to make like a installment down payment, if you will, to hold our slot for maybe August or summer of next year. So we can talk about that at a future council meeting and the authorization to do that. And then on the 27th, the department heads, and Chris already alluded to it, submitted their initial budget submissions for fiscal year 22. So we're in the midst of that. I'll be meeting with the department heads over this week and next week, and then we'll try to update those. Most of you know, particularly the department heads and that I work with every day, that I'm kind of a data freak, and so I'm really diving down into the minutia here, and so I'm sure some people wonder why, but I just believe part of it is to help me understand everything that goes into our financials, and the other part of it is to make sure that we build a very good plan going forward, because there's some things that we need to do, and we'll make sure that we have the resources to do those things. So on the 28th, following the meeting with the Regional Planning Commission, we had a follow-up meeting, or I did, with a representative of the Regional Planning Commission and a woman from the University of Alabama Center for Economic Development. And so we're going to start doing some of the things. They're going to put together sort of an initial outline and a plan for us of the things that we need to get started doing as far as strategic planning and economic development, and how we can engage various elements within our community to do that. And then on July 30th, I had a telecom with an organization called Azimuth Grants, and I had met these people at the League of Municipalities convention in Huntsville, so they reached out to me and I scheduled the phone call. And these folks have knowledge of and experience with access to grants that I wasn't even aware of, and I know there are grants that we haven't even applied for. For example, recreational grants and things like that to work on recreational facilities. So we talked about that, and we talked about getting together and having a follow-up meeting where we can maybe dip our toe in the water and try their grant writing capabilities. Also on the 30th of July, we submitted our application for the Alabama Community of Excellence Program. Got an email notification, I think yesterday, that the application had been received, and by the end of this month, they will make selections of participants. Generally about a 3-year process that you go through there, and I think going through that process will help our city to be a better city, and hopefully we can get the recognition of being an Alabama Community of Excellence. So that's July. So what's coming up for me and our city administration in August? There's a Shelby County Chamber of Commerce luncheon at the Grand Hall in Old Mill Square on the 5th. I think Sheriff Samaniego is going to be speaking at that. On August 6th, the follow-up to my telephone call is the lady from the University of Alabama Center for Economic Development is going to visit us here in Columbiana in the afternoon. On the 11th of August, the Shelby County Mayors Association will meet in Chelsea. I find that to be a very good meeting for me to be able to collaborate with the other mayors in the county and find out what kind of issues that they're dealing with and how they're dealing with. On the 16th of August, I was invited to the Shelby County Farmers Federation board meeting at the 4-H Center. I assume these people are engaged with us as far as the Farm to Table event. We've talked about making this a really big whoop-de-doo, but we probably don't have enough time to do it this year, but maybe next year we can grow it and engage more people in the community. And then, we're also working on standing up our farmers markets again, since we lost the person who had been doing the trade days for us. We're going to kind of focus on farmers market. We may do other things as well, but we'll focus on being a farmers market. On the 17th of August, there's a congressional luncheon with Congressman Gary Palmer. It's at Vulcan Park. I think all of you guys have received the information on that. If you want to attend that, you need to register. I have enjoyed the meetings that I've had with Congressman Palmer, and it's always very informative to hear from him about, how things are going on and really going on down in the weeds up in Washington. On the 21st of August, there's a celebration of the arts fundraiser at Shelby County Arts Council. And then on the 26th of August, we're hosting coffee with the mayor here at the Grand Hall. So a lot of stuff in the last 2 weeks of July, a lot of stuff in August, and more to come. There were things that aren't necessarily on my list of things that Allie talked about and we'll talk about now. So, any questions, comments on what's been keeping me busy?
No, it's funny that you mentioned that the farmers market. I don't know if anybody else that hears a buzz around town, but it seems that the farmers market that we had was not a true farmers market, maybe. And I don't know what that. I mean, a little bit of it. I mean, people tell me, how can you have tomatoes at a farmers market when it's not tomato season? Unless people are going to buy them in Piggly Wiggly and bring it to the farmers market.
They were coming from Homestead, Florida. I know.
So anyway, I think it's ironic that we're talking about farmers market. And I get caught up in those conversations. I'm like, I don't know, but I think that would be a thing that if it was true farm people being able to sell their produce, I think that would be a pretty good turnout. I remember as a kid, I used to go there with my grandparents all the time, and that was a big deal. But there's some uptight people about going down there and buying cucumber to bring it to the corner,
Right.
But,
So the one they had before was anybody who wanted to bring stuff out there could bring stuff out there. This one that we're working on is being worked with, I think, the Shelby County Farmers Federation, as well as the state and Department of Agriculture and others. And so we want to try to make it a real farmers market, if you will.
Yep.
And that's an opportunity as we do some things to improve Main Street and the area behind Main Street and between the Old Mill Square. It'd be nice to have a pavilion there where we could do farmers markets and other things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, announcements, Allie.
All right, so this Saturday, August 7th, from 10 to 2, Shelby County Tri-City Impact is having their back-to-school bash at Old Mill Square Park.
What is that?
Tri-City Impact is a collaboration between the Shelby County Sheriff's Department and
Wilsonville, Shelby, and Columbia.
Wilsonville, Shelby, Columbiana, and the schools. So it's basically a program like,
It's basically
It's drug awareness.
Focus is drug awareness.
The
Oh,
focus
okay.
is
Okay, gotcha.
prevention and drug
Are they having like something or
awareness.
are they having activities or something
They
like that?
are. They'll
Okay.
have all kinds. I think they're gonna have like space bounces for the kids. They're gonna give away a ton of backpacks.
Oh, good.
They have a band scheduled to perform. So there'll be a lot of stuff going on. But
Okay.
They'll be here from 10 until 2 o'clock.
And where were they? At Old Mill Square. Okay,
They'll
got
be in the park.
it. Good.
Saturday, August 14th is Public Safety Day. We've talked about that behind the police department and the fire department. Also on the 14th is Cardinal and White Day. That's from 1 until 8 on Saturday the 14th.
Allie, there is an admission with that too.
Yes, it's a
$5.
$5 admission for the Cardinal and White Day. And also on the 14th will be the kickball day. So, and I think that's a $5 admission as well. It may be all one admission, I'm not quite sure, so I'll get some clarification on that. On the 14th as well is Eleanor Spencer and Lindsay Benedict at the Shelby County Arts Council. Thursday, August 19th at 6 o'clock is the community pep rally on Main Street. And then Saturday, August 21st is the Shelby County Arts Council's fundraiser luncheon, the celebration of the arts. Then on Saturday, August 27th, it's David C., who is also known as Mr. R&B, at the Shelby County Arts Council. So it's a busy August.
And when is that? When is that?
That's at the Shelby County Arts Council.
What date was that?
August the 27th, and that will start at 7. School will start next Thursday or next Friday, depending on your child's.
Okay, any questions or comments for Alan?
That's a lot.
Are we having something on the 26th? Saturday?
Saturday is the 27th.
Okay.
All right, anything else?
I'd just like to add, you guys are all invited to Public Safety Day.
Thank
Slide
you.
down the water slide.
We don't get to
That's
see,
not safe.
we don't get to see you slide down the water slide.
It's a possibility. The Attorney General, it's a possibility that he may show up as well. He has another engagement with me, seeing Deputy Chief Tommy Reese, in his place. So, we're hoping the public come out, meet all first responders, ask any questions if they would like.
Perfect.
What were your times again for that? I missed that. 10 to 3?
What happened to the old Dunkin' Bay?
Oh, yeah, that would be neat.
Yeah, those days are hard to find.
That's not safe.
Have a good one.
That's not safe.
We did, the city did?
Especially if the mayor's sitting.
We can get one from
Yeah,
somewhere
you
down in
might drown
Jefferson that we
somebody.
get from my fire department.
Right.
Way to deflect.
Lieutenant,
She wouldn't like it.
Lieutenant, not even get in that Dunkin' booth, that's what we need.
She's the lieutenant. One time.
Okay, open it up for comment. Anybody? Anything?
Can we go back to the consent agenda? We didn't have a motion or a second to,
I make a
I like
motion
it.
that we approve the
I'll make a
consent
second.
agenda.
thank you. One second. Okay. Show of hands. Yes.
You've been waiting on that all meeting, haven't you?
So she didn't forget.
Yes, I didn't
And I
forget.
thought about it right after, and I'm going, that doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
It's all right.
I forgot.
Okay, if there's no other business, questions, or comments, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Okay.
Okay. Adjourn.
Charlene, I think I
So-
might have